Alright, the first underrated unit I want to look at today is EZA LR Fizz, Broly, Cheelai, and Lemo. You guys have seen this unit a lot recently in videos, but man, I mean, when I tell you that I've really fallen in love with this unit recently, I cannot lie. Like, I mean, this unit I used back in the day, and I enjoyed them with Super EZA Fizz Goku Black. And it was good, but again, Super EZA Goku Black was just not that good. And when it came to that, and Ultimatum, you know, ultimately, it just ended up being something that I just did not care to use. But Broly was really fun to use when you can get him his 100% dodge. So when they started introducing, you know, the new Rose, the new Fusion Zamasu, well, I guess not new Fusion Zamasu, but the EZA Fusion Zamasu, Omega Shenron, right? All these guys provide these orbs so that Broly, Cheelai, and Lemo could dodge. And again, a lot of people don't take that into account, of course, because right now everyone's just like, oh, I don't really want to grab 7 orbs. It's a little too much for me. And normally I would agree. I'm not a fan of orb-hungry units either, I promise. But there's so many orbs on the board now. It's like, it's not, 7's not hard. Like, 7 doesn't feel like a hungry number on these extreme teams anymore because there's so many orbs being generated due to the new releases, due to the EZAs. So again, that's the reason why I have them on this list. I know that we just got a boss rush fight that has 2 phases of dodge canceling, so I understand they still can struggle in dodge canceling fights. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is, for example, in the special battle stages, which are still the hardest fights in the game, right? Or in the clone fight, right? And then you go cheat a clones fight. This Broly, Cheelai, and Lemo are very valuable because they're all fights that cannot cancel dodge. So if you're able to have guaranteed dodge, it's just amazing. To me, it's what I enjoy a lot about this unit, is just having the ability to age well as long as content allows them to dodge. Here's another unit that, I mean, I would say is underrated, but I would not say people are not talking about, and that is the LR AGL Omega Shenron. He definitely has gotten life recently due to the Fizz Omega Shenron and his ability to add damage reduction to GT bosses. I mean, this was kind of expected. Like, we knew that in order for AGL Omega Shenron to be useful, we knew that there had to be some kind of GT bosses unit to come out and buff GT bosses in order for them to be competitive, and it's exactly what Omega Shenron did. Now, do we know if Baby's going to be the part 3 LR? We don't know. But if he is, and Baby provides even more support for GT bosses, that'd be pretty insane. But that's what I thought. I thought Baby was going to be the one to buff GT bosses this time. I'm glad it's Omega. I mean, it's still fun. I don't really care. I do wish it was a transforming sin so that this Omega can pair with the other one. But even with his 90% damage reduction, he can struggle. It's just more so the fact that he just doesn't have a ton of actual defense in his kit. If you can debuff the boss, it is a good time and a good way for you to use this Omega Shenron. The great thing about GT bosses is they thrive on debuffing bosses, which is why, for example, against a Rose and Zamasu fight, they can actually get through it really well if you plan your debuffs right. Like, for example, if you use Fizz Omega Shenron, you target Rose with Fizz Omega Shenron, you will nuke his attack. Even though it shows the attack symbol going up, his 12 key is constantly keeping that number lower and lower and lower. And then, of course, when STR Mega shows up, he's also nuking their attack and defense just from him just showing up. So the team's constructed for debuffs, and why Omega Shenron, the AGL one, can be used if you can debuff the boss. But, you know, he does have a little niche use, but he is usable right now, which is the reason why he's on this list. Alright, let's talk about the INT Buu, and I know it's really weird to put him on this list because I wouldn't say, as compared to Broly, Cheelai, and Lemo and AGL Omega Shenron, that he's gotten less talked about than those two. He's definitely had more time in the spotlight. Even recently in top 10 tier list, he's on there for the TUR side of things, but I do think right now he's providing more value than he ever has before. Not that he wasn't useful in long fights, not that he didn't have the kit to thrive in other short fights, but something about the special battle, it just feels like an insane power creep. When bosses are going from, like, the highest was about, if you count Topo, it was about 10. But if you're counting everyone else that at a normal rate, because you didn't even see Topo's 10 mil super because he would just die, you were talking about maximum 6. If you want to count Golden Frieza, 7 mil for the first, like, super. But in other words, the new special battles are like averaging 11 mil supers, with Rose peaking at, I believe it's 24 mil. Someone can correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure his super peaks at 24 million, and that is just insane. So having INT Buu come out and being like, everyone's gonna die essentially, especially against Rose. So Buu dying doesn't mean anything. He dies, revives, gives you a free turn, brings out your most likely your optimal rotation, then you survive that turn, you come back around, and then you usher Rose. Like, INT Buu provides insane value, especially in this 4 to 5, maybe 6 or 7 turn fights that we're going in right now, and it just allows him to be good. But even then, like I said, again, he stacks as well, so it's not like he doesn't have use in long fights either. So I really love this unit right now, and I think he's got a ton more value due to these insane short fights we have, due to his ability of reviving and ushering within 4 turns. Alright, next I have EZA AGL Super 17, and I cannot lie, I cannot believe he is on this list right now. I would not recommend running this guy in the new special battle phases, really in any of the new content. He probably doesn't have a space of usage. But the reason why I have him on this list is the fact that you can use him in other fights right now if you can fully build him up to 90% damage reduction. I think in my, what was it, the best aging EZAs video, I showed a clip of 17 tanking a Topo Super, which was a, what, 5.115 mil super for was it 300k? And that's insane. Like, it's just insane that how tanky he was once he had his full passive up with the Omega Shenron buff. Like, having 90% damage reduction, yes, with like 0 defense, but having 90% damage reduction is insane, especially when we consider the fact that this unit could super EZA this celebration. It is quite insane to think that, because we just got past part 2. Like, we're not done. But it is the whatchamacallit, that is what it was, though, is we still have part 3 EZAs and part EX EZAs to come, and so there is a good chance that he is going to be a part of those batches. And with him already tanking 5 mil supers before the super EZA, it does make me wonder how much more is he going to do. Again, in newer content, I probably wouldn't run him, but in longer fights that build up very slowly, especially, you know, Goku Red Zone, Vegeta Red Zone, right? You can use that Super 17 in there right now, which is insane, but how much these units help out some older units. Another unit a lot of people don't talk about but has a ton of value right now is the AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku Angel. I mean, again, I'm a person who I didn't believe in this guy at all, even in these newer short fights, but he is pretty insane in these fights. I mean, 90% damage reduction in guard is always going to get you far, and we have relevant Majin Buu Saga units to help him stay strong. It, of course, is the fact that he's only going to be strong in short fight content, but the fact that, again, we are in short fight content right now shows how well he's going to be. Now, the crazier thing to me is the fact that both INT Buu and this Goku are both relevant right now, because that's like both the Golden Week units that came out in 2024 are better than the ones that came out in 2025. I mean, I would say so right now, right? Like, in terms of content that we are seeing, Buu and Goku are better than Hit in Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku, which just shows you how crazy these 2024 units are. Now, of course, right, this Goku can have issues once you start passing turns, right? Like, once his third rotation comes out, he only has 60% damage reduction. Of course, if you attack some, he may be at 70 or 80, but he could slowly start trickling down. But he also does have the value of countering Ki Blast Supers, which also gives him some value in the Blues fight, in the Gogeta 4 fight, in the Rose and Zamasu fight. This guy has tons of mechanics to help him get around these tough special battle bosses due to the fact that he has a counter, that he's insanely tanky turn 1. So really, you're really only hoping for him, right, to take normals. And he has a ton of damage reduction in guard to do that. Now, the only issue, of course, is going to be locking. He can get locked out of slot 1. He could not have his guard. He could not have his 100% defense. That is possible. That is very possible for this unit. And that it probably is the only downside, I would say. But it is quite credible how well this unit has aged and how useful he is in these special battle fights. Alright, the next unit we're going to look at is TEQ UI Goku. I really did not think I was going to put him on this list at all today, but about 15 hours ago, they released an event called the GT Boss Rush. And what was pretty crazy about this event is not only is there one phase of dodge canceling, there are 2 phases of dodge canceling. So when you're fighting Ice Shenron, who's doing a 3.8 mil super, along with a 40% defense drop, along with 100% locking, and he disables dodge, right? So you're going to need to make sure you have the domain up in order to get around this. But also, the INT Omega Shenron also has dodge canceling at the end of the fight. The only issue I will say that I will count against this Goku is the fact that we know that 5 turns is not going to be enough to last between these two. So you got to be pretty strategic. I mean, you probably could get through the Ice Shenron pretty quickly. He only has 200,000 health, which is pretty crazy to say that we're saying only in front of that now. But he only has 200,000 health, and if TEQ UI Goku isn't on that rotation, you could have a pretty good chance of avoiding him, destroying Ice Shenron, and saving TEQ UI for Omega Shenron. Of course, that would also mean that you have to stay in UI Omen, or Sign, until then too, which could suck because, I mean, no one wants to rely on 70% dodge the entire time until you get to the mastered state. So it really depends on what you want to do. Of course, I mean, I do think that the TEQ UI Goku having 70% dodge is still valuable. I think having a domain that helps every character get around dodge canceling is still powerful, especially when we have a new event that has 2 bosses with dodge canceling. I'm not going to say TEQ UI is meta in this fight. I'm not going to say that at all. But I will say that TEQ UI is definitely underrated, especially when we have a ton of fights right now that either aren't dodge canceling or they're dodge canceling late in fights now. And those are the hardest fights we're dealing with right now. So I think TEQ UI definitely deserves some flowers. Of course, I do think TEQ UI could have been better and should be better, especially in the position of meta we are in right now. But I'm not going to say he's completely useless. He has a lot of value in the current meta. The final unit, I think personally, has been attacked too much, and it's just too hated by the community, man. I think this unit deserves vindication. This unit deserves more love, and that is LR STR Super Saiyan Blue. Okay, I can't even say what this name is. Yes, our last unit is LR STR Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. I mean, come on, guys. Let's be all real, guys. He's the best anniversary unit that has ever released in Dokkan history. Come on. Potential Man 007 he's so good. Like, you could get 90% damage reduction if you super 20 times on turn 1. You can be broken. Don't worry about those AoEs. Don't worry about the locking. Just remember, this guy only needs a small price of 10 orbs to be even close to good. And don't worry about that medium chance of supering. Just believe. If you just believe it'll be a super, it will be a super. Like, come on, guys. He has 30% damage reduction from his intro. He gets 7% damage reduction for every attack he does, and 30% damage reduction for 6 supers. Like, if he supers, 5 times in one turn, it'll be so easy to see this before his intro runs out. So you could have 60% damage reduction from the intro and the supers, and then you can have, also, if you attack 5 times, you could have 95% damage reduction. Like, come on, guys. All right, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. But yeah, this unit is not actually on this list. There's no way I would ever put this unit on the underrated units list. This is like the most garbage unit in Dokkan list if he's on it. So, anyways, I had fun with that one. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below with the units minus the Evolution Blue Vegeta. I enjoy making these lists. I do like looking at some of these, units that don't get a lot of love talking about for sure, and talking about their status in the current meta, because meta shifts a lot. So, it's good to talk about units that could be getting life, who can have a potential impact in what is going on in short meta and in, or fights without dodge canceling, right? We got to talk about those units, because before these units got clouded out because we were in long fight meta with dodge canceling and stuff like that. Now it's the script has been flipped. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, but alright, let me know what you guys think. The first playlist is to all my voice content, and the second one's going to be to my regular Dokkan Battle videos. If you guys enjoy my content and want more, click either of those links, and I'll see you guys in those videos. Bye-bye.